Hey everyone, Scott Colley, West Ham Fan TV, back again with a big match preview. Today I'm previewing the West Ham versus Man City game, Wednesday night, 7:45 kickoff at the London Stadium. Tough game. You know, last time the two sides met, City romped to a 5-0 win. Since then, we've had 2 wins on the bounce, beating Palace 3-0 and Borough 3-1. 8 shots on target, 5 goals. You know, that's an excellent stat. We're taking our chances when they come. Something we wasn't doing at the start of the season. So I don't see another 5-0 win to City. You know, I think this is a different West Ham. They seem more galvanised, more together. You know, and the players that played in that game have got a point to prove. You know, it would have hurt them to get beat like that against City. You know, so I think that, you know, as long as everyone's fit, with the new players coming in, I've got a really good feeling that we can get a result on Wednesday night. City last time out, run out 3-0 winners against Crystal Palace in the FA Cup. In the league, their last 2 fixtures, they threw away a 2-goal lead against Tottenham and got hammered 4-0 at Everton. You know, Everton have had an indifferent season, so it goes to show you put a performance in, you make City work, you shut them down at the back, and you take your chances. Anything can happen. You know, that's why we love football, that's why we love the Premier League, because anyone can beat anyone so long as they're willing to put the shift in. You know, obviously this season we've not beaten Manchester City. You know, we lost 5-0 in the FA Cup, 3-1 in the league up at their place. So it will be a tough game. You know, I can't see them winning the league, to be honest. I can't see Chelsea losing it, but they're still in contention for the Champions League. And it's so tough at the top of that they don't want to drop points. And our record against the top 7 this season has not been too good. You know, we've only really took a point. I know we beat Chelsea in the League Cup, but in the league, I think offhand we've only nicked points off of Liverpool, and Manchester United. You know, and 2 draws. We haven't beaten any of the top 7. So you know, we probably need to raise our game a bit, put the shift in, put the work rate in. You know, pressurise City at the back. They're not the greatest. The keeper's having a shaky season. John Stones, you know, put him under a bit of pressure when he's trying to bring the ball out from the back. You know, he panics. And that's what we need to do. We need to put pressure on City when they've got the ball at the back, but be very, very wary of the counter-attack. They're probably one of the best counter-attacking teams in the Premier League this season. You know, they're very, very strong. They've got a lot of pace and they've got some tricky players. So we need to be wary of that. So, you know, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. There's a few individual battles out there, you know, that are going to be interesting to watch. Injury news, obviously Ogbonna out for the rest of the season, having a knee operation. A lot of respect for the guy. You know, he's had this injury since the start of the season, but he's put his career on the line. You know, when you've got a knee injury, we don't know the seriousness, but obviously it must be bad that he's needed an operation. One bad tackle, one wrong fall, that could put the end to his career. But he put his body on the line, and it just goes to show the difference in some footballers. You know, you got that one there, Ogbonna, willing to put his body on the line, willing to give everything for the team, and then you got certain other players who don't give a monkeys, to be honest. They're just there for their payday. So it's good to see. We want more players like Ogbonna, let's be honest, who put their body on the line for the team. Carroll and Noble both went off. Noble with a bad injury. Well, not bad injury, but with a knock against Borough. Andy Carroll went off. I think he was more taken off for precaution. I think he felt his hamstring or his groin slightly, so they took him off just to sort of. We don't want to lose him at the moment. Let's be honest. He's been in great form. You know, he's been a beast. You know, especially lately. So he's needed. Hopefully, the time off that we've had has been good for both of them, and they'll both return. Obviously, Czech is away with the African nations. Obviously, Senegal have been knocked out, but I can't see him being back. You know, I don't think West Ham will go to the extremes that Liverpool have gone by chartering a private jet. But hey, if Noble's injured, you never know. City, you know, they've 50-50 on Aguero. I think he'll probably play. They've got one player out injured. Otherwise, they are fully fit. You know, so we've got to be very, very careful. You know, City, if they turn up, we've seen what they can do. But as I said, put the pressure on, make a game of it. You know, keep going, keep fighting, fight for every ball till the end, and we see what we get. Danger men, obviously Sergio Aguero, best striker in the Premier League for me. You know, the guy's movement, his finishing is absolutely superb. You know, he's one of the top 10 best strikers in the world at the moment, you know, in my mind. So we've got to be wary of him. Obviously, their midfield, David Silva, De Bruyne, Sterling, Torre, you know, they've got an abundance of talent. So there's so many players out there to be wary of. If one's having a bad game, another one, you know, could be having a blinder. So it's going to be tough. Key battles in this one for me. I think Dan out wide. I think Byram and up against Sterling. You know, that's going to be a tough one. But then I think we're going to cause them problems. You know, if we look at our starting lineup, obviously Randolph's a continuing goal. Byram right back, Creswell left back, Reed and Font in the middle. Obviously Font making his debut. I think Snodgrass will come in for Feghouli on the right. Again, another one making his debut. I just think that because of his defensive, you know, his work rate. Feghouli's had a good bit of form lately. He looks like he's getting better and better. But Snodgrass has got that little bit more, you know, that bit more experience. And the work rate's a bit better, you know. So maybe that they may look at the defensive side, especially with the pace of players like Sterling and De Bruyne and Silva. Start Snodgrass for his debut. So long as Noble's fit, I think he'll continue in the midfield with Obiang. Lanzini out on the left. Andy Carroll, so long as he's fit. And Michail Antonio to start up top. Again, their partnership seems to be getting better and better. You know, Antonio's playing off of Carroll. So, you know, it's going to be good. I think if Carroll and Noble are both out, then maybe we'll go to a 4-5-1. You know, and Antonio to be up top on his own. Lanzini to shift into the middle with Obiang. You know, maybe we'll see that. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm hoping they're both fit and we'll play a 4-4-2. As I said, these battles, again, you know, Reed up against Aguero. As I said, Sterling and Byron will be an interesting one. But Antonio and Carroll up top, I think that they're in. I think the Man City defence are in for a very, very tough battle with these two. The pace and strength of Antonio and the strength and height of Carroll. You know, you've got two different types of player, both big, both strong, one with pace, one's going to beat you in the air all day long. You know, I think City's two centre-halves are going to be in for a torrid time. I think Carroll can bully John Stones. You know, as I said, Stones for me is overrated. I'm quite excited to see that. Score prediction-wise, it's going to be tough. As I said, I don't think West Ham are going to roll over like they did in the FA Cup. I think we're going to give them a game. So long as we can keep it tight in the first half hour, again, not give away, no rash challenges, no silly free kicks on the edge of the area where they can cause us problems. So long as we can keep it tight, I think we're in this game till the end. I'm going for a 2-2 draw. I think on the day, I think City have just got a bit too much quality for us to beat them. So I'm going to say 2-2. But as I said, we don't know in the Premier League. That's why we love football. That's why we love the Premier League. So yeah, I'm going 2-2 draw. Comment below. Let me know what your starting 11 would be. You know, whether you agree with me with Snodgrass coming in for Feghouli. And also your score predictions. Don't forget to check out all our other videos. We're almost on to 10,000 likes on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, search West Ham Fan TV and like our page if you haven't already. You know, get us over that 10,000 likes mark. Don't forget to check out all our other videos, as I said, on the socials up, the Facebook edition of On the Socials up. Dan and Graham done that. Ryan's been hitting us with loads of transfer roundups, so check them out. Nicky's Monday Musings should be going up. I said I'll be back previewing the Southampton game. Post-match pint. There won't be a post-match pint, but there'll be a post-match reaction after the Man City game, as it is a night game. Fan cams, everything could be going up after the match. So, you know, just make sure you check them out. One thing left to say, come on you irons.